I'll forgive and forget if you say you'll never go, because it's true what they say. It's VGC, the video game podcast, with me, Jordan Midler, and Chris Scullion. This week, my dream has come true. But first, how's it going, Chris? How are you?
Good. Is that Kylie?
It certainly was, but I was invoking the Steps version, which my preferred interpretation of the work.
Of course.
We are running a 2-man ship because Andy blew up a substation or something like that. Is that the line?
I believe that's the line. He's still in the US, I believe, but he's somehow managed to blow up something near Heathrow, and now all of Heathrow's flights are grounded for the foreseeable future. So he's basically stuck in America. When
I first saw this, I actually thought, oh well, why can't they just fly in for the other end, not realising that it probably knocked out all the electric shite at Heathrow, thus making air traffic control somewhat useless. They can't just have a bloke on the ground with a big red sign being like, land, you're fine.
The boys at Prestwick Airport will be rubbing their hands. It's our time to shine, boys.
That's another thing I don't understand. Like, why can't, and I'm sure something like this is happening with certain flights, but the UK has thousands of airports. Can they not spread them a bit? I suppose when Andy's flying with United, so United probably doesn't have the cachet to phone up Glasgow and go, here, can we land in your gaff? I had a new airport experience, 2 new airport experiences the other day, because I flew to Frankfurt in Germany.
That's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, Frankfurt, to play the new Doom. I can say I've played it, and I can say that they had a big Doom statue. The 31st of March, we've got a lot of gameplay to show, which is, I was about to give an opinion. We've got a lot of gameplay to show. But I flew out from Edinburgh on the 6 a.m. to Frankfurt, and because of this, I had to stay in Edinburgh the night before. Lovely night in Edinburgh on Tuesday night, yeah. So I stayed at the Hampton by Hilton, and I was like, I'm starving, man. What can I eat? And you know, when you're in the airport, it's always that, in the airport area, it's always that awkward thing of who's going to deliver to like the industrial estate that is the airport. So I'd like to give a special shout out to the Stenhouse Chippy, which is 10 minutes in the car for Edinburgh Airport, and delivered me one of the best pepperoni pizzas I've ever had in my entire life. This thing was unbelievably good. Not only that, it was serviced with a smile, because I ordered it and my phone immediately went, and I was like, there's absolutely no way that this guy's standing outside with my chippy. A wee old woman goes, hello, is that Jordan? Just making sure it was you that ordered, son. You get your pizza? And I was like, yeah. I just ordered it there. And she's like, yeah, just I'll phone you again when it's on the way. So sure enough, 10 minutes later, she phoned me and went, that's it, on the way. There's a big tall guy dressed all in black. He's in a black Seat. He's going to come and deliver it to you. I was like, oh, brilliant, thank you. So I stand outside the hotel. Sure enough, big black Seat approaches. Guy gets out and goes, Jordan.
Is this the woman I was speaking to on the phone?
And he goes, what is his name? And I go, Jordan, mate. And he goes, correct answer. And then just takes a bit, gives me a pizza. And he goes, you enjoy that, big man. Goodbye. And then just disappears off into the night. And I'm like, okay, well. And then it was honestly because you know when you order from a random chippy that's got like 2.9 on Google reviews, this could be incredible. It could be the worst thing ever. That first bite, it was transcendental. I was like, I was in New York City getting a slice. It was so good.
A slice of za.
A slice of the pepperoni za from the Stenhouse Chippy.
I'm always wary when I see those like 2.9 star ratings, because I'm like, because you know, usually if you have because I know for a fact you've not gone on and given them a 5-star rating for the pizza.
Exactly.
People only go on there to complain about things. So yeah, I rarely take ratings into account. Are you pumped for Red Nose Day?
Oh, I'm constantly pumped. It's what do you even do now for Red Nose Day? Is it crazy hair? It was crazy hair when it was my day.
I think you still apply a red nose, I believe. I've got a cold coming on, so I'll end up with one by the end of the night, probably anyway. So, but I've got no interest in it. It used to be the highlight of the year for me back in the day, but I think the problem is they're stuck kind of in the past a bit. They've got loads of, what about when this TV show crosses over with that TV show? It's like nobody watches telly anymore, mate.
Yeah. Does it still do the big telethon? The big Friday night
still
job?
it's on tonight. Yeah, and it's like they'll wheel out Jonathan Ross. I think Davina McCall's well again, so she'll come out. All this, it'll be the same people again. Like Lenny Henry retired last time, didn't he? So he won't be the end of an era. But it's the same. It's just not. Back when there was fewer TV channels, back in the day when everyone was in black and white, it felt like more of an event because you knew who everyone was that was on it. But now it's like, it's the cast of some drama you've never seen meeting the cast of another drama you've never seen, and you're like, I'm sure this is great.
It's back when there was a ubiquity of who was a famous person, you know? Like, to me, this might have been comic relief and I may be mixing these up, but to me it was Tony Blair meeting Catherine Tate's I'm a Bothered Lassie. That was a unification of culture, because it's like, here's the Prime Minister and the most famous telly-comedy person at the minute. Here's David Tennant meeting Catherine Tate's I'm a Bothered character. They didn't have a lot of ideas. Meeting Catherine Tate's I'm a Bothered character, and it's like, there's Doctor Who. There's David Tennant, one of the most famous man on the British telly. Now, and I really get annoyed, so couple of weeks ago, the Sidemen did their charity match thing, and they sold out Wembley in like 3 hours, and that scoffing is exactly what I get annoyed about. Well, I suppose you probably understand this. Those boys are unbelievably famous. Like, to young people, they are the famous people now. And when older bastards comment on stuff like, I've never heard of him, who is this Sean, man? It's like, yeah, mate, because culture is, like we spoke to Christopher MacArthur Boyd about, the monoculture that's done, the subcultures rule the earth. So
it's like, I get it. I just don't like them, but I appreciate the power, the clout they have, and that those are the kind of people you should be getting on. But instead, I was checking the BBC's website here. Apparently, one of the big comedy sketches on tonight's Red Nose Day will be a crossover between Not Going Out and Beyond Paradise.
It's Not Going Out even still on the telly, that thing with Lee Mack?
So it'll star Sally Bretton, who plays the wife in both series. So that's the gimmick, is that she'll meet herself, apparently. And then, so...
Hijinks and Shoe?
I would imagine so.
I would hope so. If I'm tuning in, I want hijinks at the very least.
Two of the boys for the In-Betweeners are dressing up as the Gallaghers.
Yeah. That's
about as far as we're getting in terms of recognisable stuff.
I mean, I like James Buckley. He's married to a good Scottish woman, so that's points on his ledger. But yeah, that's that in between. That Oasis reunion thing happened about 7 months ago, so they've really got their finger on the pulse. Pop culture. They're going to start doing sketches a bit if the dress is blue and black or gold and white soon.
Yeah. I tell you, the best bit about Comic Relief is every night, after around about midnight time, when all the kids have gone to bed and nobody's watched it anymore, they always bring out the highlights package of the best of Comic Relief, and then you get to see all the good stuff they used to do, like Ali G interviewing Victoria and David Beckham, and all the kind of Alan Partridge stuff and all that. And then you go, oh yeah, but then you're like, I'll see this every year now because those are the bits they dig out every year. But it's like,
to me, that's the equivalent of Del Boy falling through the bar. Like I've had enough of that. That's got to the point where I've seen that enough.
Agreed.
Should we talk about video games?
I've got a wee cheeky energy drink for
so do I. Before we do that, patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle for more podcasts, videos, extra content. We have a giveaway going on if you would like to win a copy of the critically acclaimed Assassin's Creed Shadows and critical consensus not available at this time, Assassin's Creed Shadows Steelbook. It has both of them on it. Also, it's a double dunter. I've obviously not opened the actual PlayStation 5 box, but I don't know if this is a double dunter or not.
That seems unnecessary.
Yeah. Surely you're just putting this in and the PSN's going, oh, there you go, there's Assassin's Creed, and it downloads the whole game.
There's no need for 2 discs these days when everything's digital.
And it's not weird. Like it came with, like, it's not like the collector's edition came with like a CD or I mean, I wish. Mind you would occasionally get like a making of documentary on a disc with a collector's edition.
The glory days.
Not anymore. Danny O'Dwyer's bloody cornered that market. There's no need for that. But yeah, if you want to win that, patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle, open to everyone, including free, because otherwise it would count as a lottery, and we would need a license to do that, so everyone can enter.
I downloaded it last night and then instantly fell asleep on the couch before starting. So opinion TBC.
If you'd like a more complete opinion of that, you can check out the review and the Review Roundtable podcast, starring a bunch of our friends. Someone pointed out, they were like, "Is that the first time Kez has been on the podcast?" And I was like, I speak to this woman like every single day. She really not be, and she was on the podcast about 2 years ago at this point, but it's just one of these people that you talk to so constantly. You're like, surely we've recorded some of this chat, but we couldn't for the liable reasons.
More.
We do indeed. Chris, you got an energy drink review?
I'm back on my Carabao bullshit.
Oh!
I've found my multiple flavours locally now, so I'm going today for Carabao Mango Burst.
Oh, okay.
I could take or leave mango, but we'll see how it goes.
Any blurbers are just firing?
No, it's the same one, and it was the same claim. That's a great tasting sparkling mango flavoured energy drink. They've just swapped the word out for mango, and still not suitable for breastfeeding women. So,
well, you need to take a day off then. That's
half our audience going. Smells like mango, confirmed.
Yeah. You say you're not a mango man, but you're not like a Mango Loco Monster, the incredibly sickly sweet blue one?
I do. That's a rare exception, but it's not my favourite.
Yeah.
I like it, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's not much of an aftertaste. It's all right. I'm not against it, but I probably wouldn't be my first choice. I had their apple one recently, and it's fantastic.
Are you glad it's in a smaller can rather than a full shebang?
To be honest, but yeah, the apple ones like tastes a lot like appetizer. Which is it appetizer or just apple ties?
I think it's apple ties, but people just call it appetizer.
Mandela effect in it.
It's appetizer. It's appetizer.
I don't know where I got apple ties from.
So speaking of appetizer, not to do all our yesterday's pish, but when I was in school, we had vending machines in the school, and this was like mind blowing. For the first 2 years that I was in high school, they sold Coca-Cola products. That's your Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, Fanta, Dr. Pepper. And then some woke Scottish councillor decided, no, we're only going for quote-unquote healthy drinks, ignoring the fact that Coke Zero has nothing in it. It's essentially water with a bit of like colouring in it. So they replaced it with pretty much universally appetizer products. And
that's weird.
Appetizer is alright. It's like quite nice. It's a sparkling apple juice. It's not terrible. But see, when you go from being able to get like a Coke Zero and take it into your next class to permanent appetizer, the revenues must have plummeted from that.
Appetizer's dearer though. Was it reasonably priced then? Because I've always tend to associate appetizer as more money for less product because it's a smaller can.
I think it was still like 40p for a can of anything. I think probably they couldn't change the the vendors. They had no idea how to
There's a loss making. They're making a loss every day.
The schools don't get money for pens because it keeps it's charging 40p for £2
60p cans of appetizer and sell them for 40.
Yeah, that was a sad transition. That was when school. It wasn't really the start of when schools tried to be healthy. Like all that Jamie Oliver stuff was already happening, but it was the transition from the Foxbar schooling area. It really hit us hard. It fell down somewhat because we had a ice cream van that came to the gates of the school, like the actual perimeter of the school, that was shut down for selling gear. So.
But you're right, we had a sweet van inside the school. There was allowed to park inside the school premises. So you just go and like absolutely stock up. This is pure junk. And yeah, my last year of high school, just before I left. Yeah, that's right. It was after the Blitz. Just before we left, they refurbished one of the cafes to like a healthy eating cafe, and it had a wee computer with a face on it on the wall, and it was called the Megabytes Cafe. Good. I was like, I'm glad to be getting out this whole.
That sounds like something that, see if they did if in the Power Rangers, if they were updating Ernie's juice bar to be something for like the kids, they're like, let's go down to the Megabyte and get a burger. And then Rita Repulsa turns up and puts a brick through the window.
Fuck your Megabytes! Make my monster grow!
This podcast makes my monster grow very quickly. Because this isn't technically a new entry, because I've already done Peach Rockstar. This is Rockstar Reading and Leeds. Yeah! This is one for the rock heads. You can win festival tickets. I bet you this is a Peach Rockstar. It's a Peach Rockstar.
Confirmed.
The Reading and Leeds branding seems to have no effect. If you like peach drinks, as I occasionally do, it's an alright peach energy drink.
Is there no connection with Reading and Leeds at all then? It's just a branding thing?
It's just win tickets. There's no smell of getting hit in the back of the head with a cup of pish. There's nothing like that. So
well, I'll wait until they release Rockstar Edinburgh Book Festival. Thanks very much.
Story number 1. Hold on to your hats. Lego Pokemon is official and it's coming next year. First set's in 2026. Mega has lost the license. Hallelujah. We don't know much more apart from that, so this will be a speculative portion. But when this happens, so Lego Mexico, who I assume's social media person, is currently looking for a new job, put up a video, and it was a little Pikachu tail electrifying the Pokemon and the Lego logos. And you sent me it, and I was like, surely not, because it feels like, first of all, that feels like something they would maybe have announced at Pokemon Day, but maybe the license only just expired. And second of all, it's like, if you were going to fake a Lego Pokemon trailer, that is exactly what you would do. But then 2 hours later, it was confirmed. No sets specifically announced, but Chris, this is the last license that, one, I ever thought would happen, because I thought Mega would hold on to that forever, and 2, this is going to put me out of house and home. I'm going to get every single one of these.
I agree. The reason I'm laughing is that I just following on from our Megan Trainor AI.
Here we go. It's the AI minute.
I just opened Copilot and wrote, give me a pun about Lego making Pokemon themed sets, just to see, for those who missed a recent episode, we're trying to see if Copilot is ready to take our jobs by seeing if it can come up with a good pun. This is worse than the Megan Trainor ones. And so the Copilot, Microsoft's AI, which is apparently very clever, this is its attempt at a pun of Lego Pokemon.
Yeah.
Looks like Lego's building Pokemon bricks and mortar battles. Now that's a Constructachew. I was like, that's a Constructachew.
That is up there with when SMTV Live used to show the Pokemon cartoon, and Ant and Dec would do a little sketch beforehand and just have like, "Howie man, here's toilet brushachew."
Constructachew. But no, sorry, going back to your question, that was rude of me. I'm up for it. The problem is I'm very much got the Lego bug now. This is all Andy Robinson's fault, because I was never really interested in Lego until the Lego NES came out. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. It's a shame I'm not into Lego. And Andy basically cajoled me into buying it, saying, look, you're one of the biggest Nintendo fans around. You kind of need this. Even if you don't care about Lego, like, this is a thing you kind of need to have as a Nintendo fan. I was like, right, okay. So I bought it, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll buy this as well. And I'm just like, the bedroom's just stacked with unbuilt Lego sets, because I've just never had time to build them. I've got half a Bowser built. Sitting over there, it's just like, the legs and body. I've to do the arms and neck. But yeah, it's like, so it's an obsession now. So I'm going to just rinse these. I've got a few of the Mega Pokemon ones, and they're actually pretty good. I've seen lots of people online like absolutely slating them, and they're obviously not the quality of Lego, but they've tried stuff like doing wee animated ones and stuff like that. Like, there's a Pikachu that has like a wee run animation when you turn a handle, and they built like a Pokemon Center, like gym and stuff like that. So it's like they're trying, but yeah, the Lego one's going to be...
They're no the real shebang. They're no. The problem is with a thing like Mega, you're constantly thinking, imagine if Lego was doing this. And obviously the implication of that is it's going to be very expensive, but I expect we get brick-built Pokemon, because that's like a natural thing to do. The first thing will be a Pikachu statue or something like that. Yeah. I expect play sets, but I wonder how they're going to handle it, because would you do... I mean, you'd probably do like an Ash minifigure set aimed at older, collectors, but Ash famously hasn't been the protagonist for about 3 years now, so the target audience knows Roy and Liko, so you'd probably do a set with them, and then you do, like, I would love, like, a diorama. You know, they did the Star Wars dioramas, like, if they did one of those for, like, Pallet Town based on, like, red and blue, make it in that color palette or something like that.
I'll be stunned if they don't do blind bags with the kind of mini Pokemon builds in each one, because they did that with Super Mario. They got their full sets, they had a few kind of adult builds, and then they did like 6 series of like bags that you buy in the shops, and each one contains a different Mario enemy that you would build. I can see them making loads of wee mini dioramas with like 160 pieces or whatever in each one. Loads of kind of smaller, like kind of less common Pokemon, because that's like 15 series worth. At least they could easily churn out without even blinking.
The thing that I wonder about is if they do those, are they going to establish like a scale so that you can have like a big collection of them? Because presumably there's a line in Japan that they started that's called like the Pokemon Scale World or something like that, and they have done hunters of Pokemon and trainers and gym leaders all in one scale, and I've seen people with a whole collection and it looks amazing. But obviously that becomes harder when you get to Pokemon like Rayquaza, who are canonically like 500 foot long. But I think it's a great opportunity for them to really get a bit weird with it, because obviously all of this stuff is in the shadow of the fact that next year's the 30th anniversary. So they'll be fighting on 2 fronts. They're fighting on the front of the new generation, so Generation 10, which they have to appeal to their core audience, which is kids and like younger people. And then it's the 30th anniversary, so it's nostalgia time, it's back to Kanto, it's the 151. So I think that's maybe what they go for the expensive Lego sets, and then the cheaper ones are your new folk.
I mean, they're fortunate that they're dealing with a franchise where even the characters that are 30 years old or whatever it is, still appeal to brand new players. Yeah. Because it's not like any other series where they introduce new characters every time. It's not like if kids love their Final Fantasy 16 these days. It's not like you come to them with Squall for Final Fantasy 8 and they're like, who's that? It's like my daughter's finally slowly getting into it, and like she loves Eevee and Pikachu and Charmander and Squirtle and all that, and it's like, okay, fine. Like, so they can make stuff that appeals to.
What's your opinion on Klefki?
I don't think she's encountered Klefki yet, which is I'm deliberately keeping her away from it for her own safety. Yeah, she's slowly getting there. I'm going to try her on Let's Play. Let's Go. I think Eevee I've got was the one I got to review. I'm going to try her on that this weekend and see, because she's sort of into the anime. I've been watching Indigo League on Netflix. She's kind of getting there, but it's quite dated now.
I was about to say, does it bother her that the Indigo League stuff looks quite shite now? Like,
I don't think so, because half the stuff she watches on YouTube is shite anyway. So like, this is actually a step up. But yeah, it's like I think she's itching to actually play some of it. And I think she's still a wee bit young for the kind of turn-based stuff. So I'm hoping that if I play Let's Go with her, then that might be the gateway.
Did you get the Pokeball Switch controller with Let's Go?
No,
so
I didn't.
That is what makes that game for me one of my favorites, and you can still do it with a Switch controller, but I think she would really enjoy like the physical act of like mimicking the throw, because I think that gets her into it. Just watch
that must cost a fort.
Straight through your telly, like.
It's guaranteed. That's going to cost a fortune now, though, surely.
The wee Pokeball thing. What was it even called? The Pokeball.
These things go out of production, and then the price just rockets, doesn't it?
Oh no, you can get them on eBay for like 30 quid. I think they do. Oh, the reason is, so this is classic Pokemon Company. When you bought it, or you got it in the collection, because they sold it for like, it was £50 for the game, or like 80 for it with the Pokeball. So I got it with that thing. But each of these Pokeballs came with one Mew. So if you used it on one game, it was never usable again. There was no way to reset it to factory settings. So having a Pokeball with a Mew is still very expensive, because it was the only way at the time to get it in Let's Go.
Get a Mew.
But otherwise, also I think there's some like, I think it was a simple enough product that there's some like dodgy ones that you can buy that are the same thing, because it's just a Switch controller and a Pokeball shell. It's not anything super fancy. the Nintendo Pokeball Plus, not to be confused by the Pokemon Plus Pokego. What's the plus thing that they put out recently?
There's another version of the Pokemon Go thing.
There's the Pokemon Go Plus and there's the Pokemon Go Plus. So just make sure you're getting the correct one. I always wanted one of those Pokemon Go Plus things because they are very effective. Like, they are very useful if you play the game a lot, and I do. But it's £100 for a little dongle. It's no Pokewalker, let me tell you. No.
I just want to get the whales, or indeed the Wailords, which I believe is a Pokemon.
That's the biggest Pokemon.
Is it?
A little quiz for Chris Scullion. How heavy is a Wailord? Average, I assume they fluctuate.
Are we talking stones?
Give me pounds.
Pounds, how heavy is a Wailord? I would imagine we're talking 1,200.
Oh, you've actually overshot it, but not by too much. The average Wailord is 47 feet and 880 pounds. So,
lightweight.
Big boy. A very good visual joke in this, I think it was the Sword and Shield DLC, where you could ride your bike on the water, and this was like a little island. And if you go to the edge of the island, there's just a big semicircle out in the water, and if you get closer to it, it's a Wailord waiting to battle you. I was like, that's pretty funny. That's pretty good.
Wait a minute, is the one that's 30 feet long, like, not as heavy as a Wailord? The one you said earlier, was it
Rayquaza? Heaviest Pokemon.
Is that just all cartilage?
I bet you the heaviest Pokemon is what is like Regirock or something that's just a big ton boulder.
Yeah. Here we go. It'll be someone that's got some sort of core that's made of raw energy, like dark matter, and there's like 12 million kilos or something.
So it says that the heaviest Pokemon is Celesteela. Celesteela is an Ultra Beast, which was introduced in Sun and Moon, the worst generation.
And we all...
Yeah. And the Ultra Beasts are not really counted as Pokemon, so I'm not taking that. Heavy Pokemon that you would know, Groudon, the legendary from Pokemon Ruby, is 2,000 pounds, or just under 1,000 kilo. So he'd probably get the nod for the heaviest. Rayquaza's a big skeleton thing. He's swift.
Yeah. I once power bombed an Ultra Beast. We've discussed that in the past.
Speaking of Pokemon, story number 2. Pokemon Centers wage war on TCG scalpers by removing plastic packaging from new boxes. Chris Scullion, as we are recording this podcast, today the Pokemon Company is going to release pre-orders for Destined Rivals, the next trading card game set, which is out on the 30th of May and brings back Team Rocket. So, as this podcast is going on, every 10 minutes I'm hitting refresh on the Pokemon Center. Because otherwise you're getting hee-haw. But Pokemon Centers in Japan and Singapore have got their new technique where, so you're Johnny Singapore, right? You come to me, you pick up a box of Heatwave Arena and you take it up to the counter and you go, ho, this is hard to get. I'm gonna go on Singaporean eBay, which is called eBay, and flip this for triple the price. However, me, Johnny Pokemon Center, goes, thank you, sir, takes off the outer plastic packaging. You're tearing your hair out. And I go, well, what's the problem? You've still got all the packs there, and this is a Pokemon Center, so it's official product. And you go, no! That was a short play illustrating the new measures that the Pokemon Center are taking. Chris Scullion, scalpers are bastards. Do you agree?
Yes, hell mend them, I believe is the terminology. I think this is fine.
Yeah.
Like you say, as long as the people that are buying them for the cards.
Yeah.
And therefore, you can, like you say, all the card packs are still sealed. They haven't been tampered with. It's literally just to stop reselling. And I've seen some people going, well, I'm not a scalper. I just want an unsealed box. I was like, why? Yeah. Why do you want that? Other than to resell at some point down the line. Like,
there are a few freaks. So I usually keep, at least I try to, but I've not got much willpower. I like to try and keep like one of the art packs for each. So like a set will have 4 different style of booster packs, and I'll keep like one of each, so I have that. That's fine. But see, when you see these boys that have got like 200 boxes of the same set, and it's like, you're clearly absolutely at it.
No.
And there's a real scalping issue going on in Pokemon now. Like, it's so hard to get your hands on the cards, despite the fact that they are printing these at an unbelievable rate. Like, the bubble will burst soon enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only people that would have a problem with this are scalpers themselves. I don't know if they could implement this online, because how could you prove that it was done by Pokemon and not done by like Johnny Delivery Man?
They need to do it in front of your face, like, for you to be kind of happy with it. There's no other kind of way to do it. It's another reason why the Lego's good, because the Lego won't be scalped. Like, I was saying this before, like, on the socials, like, it'll sell out like instantly on day one, and it'll be weeks before it gets restocked, but it will get restocked, because you know what Lego's like. Lego never sells out of things forever. They might retire sets after a while, but like,
they sell out of gift with purchases, but that's basically stuff that goes on a shelf. You'll be able to get no problem. Like, if you want it day one, you'll need to queue. But every time I've queued, it's been easy enough to get stuff. Like,
even then, like, I wanted some of the Mario Kart stuff for the kid, and for the first week or two, the main Mario Kart one was like out of stock. I was like, I'll just wait. So I just waited. Now I've got it. It's like the job done. So yeah, patience is a virtue in these situations. I think, like, it seems the cards are more scalpable at the moment, but I would imagine the Lego will be fine. But yeah, you're right. The whole thing, we spoke about this last week, that it's just a shambles that kids who actually want to play with these things are getting elbowed out of the way by big arseholes who just want to kind of turn a quick dollar. So yeah, they can burn in hell. I'm looking forward to the new set. Getting Team Rocket back will be fun. There's some really cool cards in it, like Ethan, who's the canonical protagonist for Pokemon Gold. He's got like an Ethan's Hoe that looks amazing. I hope they sort their shit out. But the thing with the main sets that go into supermarkets and stuff, you can always eventually get them, because they print them for like 2 years. The special sets are hard, like Prismatic Evolutions is really hard to get because they only print them for 6 months. But if it's going to an Asda, you'll be able to get it. That's the old adage that they talk about. Before we head for a break, Chris, VGC, the 2025 Guide to Video Games, will be released later this month. Is this true? So they say. I believe it's now at the warehouse at the moment. So apparently what happened was, so for those who don't know, we're making a book, or we made a book, and it's a kind of a compilation of most of our work from last year. So all our reviews, we wrote some special previews for it, and then a kind of news roundup at the start of the kind of headlines from 2024. So it's a kind of 2024 annual, if you will, in March 2025. And the reason for that is because it was meant to come out in late February. But apparently the printer, which I then verified by checking the news, is like the biggest printer in the UK and was hit with a massive cyber attack last month. So that kind of made a massive backlog for almost as big as my own backlog of books that loads of other people were getting printed. So we finally get printed. It's finally in the warehouse of Pen and Sword, the publisher. So if you go there, you can buy it now and probably get it pretty soon. Otherwise, it'll be in Amazon within a week or so, I would imagine. I'm quite happy with it. I kind of put most of it together. It was more work than you would think, because basically we've decided to make it look like a old magazine, like an old style CVG type magazine.
You're not just print screening the articles and putting them on the page.
It's not a Control-C, Control-V effort, because obviously our reviews vary wildly in word length. So they go from like 900 words up to like sometimes nearly 2,000 words, depending on the game. And we had to fit these into like small box outs, like old school magazine style. So they're all kind of remixed versions of all our reviews. So if you ever wondered what VGC would have looked like as a magazine, this is basically it, but in an annual form. So I'm really happy. It looks great. And yeah, it's out later this month. So if you pre-order it now on from any good bookseller and some of the bad ones, you'll find it. So yeah, okay.
Am I getting one of these?
Yes. In fact, we're going to have to figure out. We'll take this offline, but I've got a kind of. We're going to figure out how to get some signed copies.
Okay.
So we're figuring out how to buy some Pokemon cards. People are asking about signed copies, obviously, because we live in the 5 corners of the earth. we can't all just kind of.
I'm not taking this. Me and you live 40 minutes away from each other. We're not the problem.
I know we're not, but to be fair, we're not. But he's currently in America and stuck. But I think we're meeting up soon. The publisher's going to send me some book plates, which by all accounts are extremely fancy stickers. Good. But apparently they're a thing in the book community where like it's considered legitimate. And basically, I think we're meeting up. The three of us are meeting up soon anyway. So I think I'll just have a big stack of those book plates and we'll sign them all there and then. And then we'll send them out to people who can prove they've got a copy of the book. We
should go to Wings and put and mic the three of us up and just let loose, record it, and just hear us going as we're ripping.
The most disgusting ASMR episode of all time.
We'll put a special, because on Patreon you can sell posts specifically, like outside of tiers. We'll sell it for £1,000 if anyone wants to listen to us sit and eat wings. There'll be somebody that Ryan Cobain would be there day one.
Oh, he'd be there 100%. He's like, my dad would have loved this. God rest him.
Ryan Cobain's dad obviously finds it a bit difficult to eat wings these days. Shall we go for a break? We'll be back after the break with more Pokemon. No, we're joking. Sony's got a new first-party studio. We'll be chatting Sega, and we have a load of Discord questions. Patreon.com/VideoGamesChronicle, and we'll see you in a minute. And we are back. Next story. Sony has formed a new first-party studio within PlayStation Studios. Dark Outlaw Games comes from studio head and director Jason Blundell. This was a little exclusive on a podcast with someone called Jeff Gersman. That ring any bells to you, Chris Killian?
I think so. Is he one of the Manson family?
I think so. He got out of the game just before the murders and started doing energy drink reviews, which I think is a gimmick infringement on us, because we've clearly been podcasting far longer than he has.
I mean, to be fair, he invested in a DeLorean and travelled back in time to years before us and started doing it. So it's a clever gig.
Just because he's been doing it since 2007 doesn't mean that us starting it in 2022 should have any issue. Anyway, Jeff chatted to Blundell, who is best known as one of the lead creators of the Call of Duty Zombies stuff. He left Activision in 2020 and went on to serve as a co-founder of Deviation Games. You might remember these Donnies came out on stage. Deviation was like working with PlayStation, and then they never ended up making their original IP, which was meant to be a PlayStation exclusive. They parted ways, and then rumors started circulating that Blundell was back with PlayStation, and that is the case. They've started a new studio that he is heading up, Dark Outlaw Games. No real indication of what the game is, what kind of size they're at, what stage they're at. But Chris, I was quite surprised to see Sony starting new stuff in a era where they're like closing things rapidly and like trying to keep the purse strings tight and only making hits. They must, especially if this guy's left and they love him so much, they're starting his own thing. They must have a lot of faith that he can do something for them. Yeah,
I'm more curious to see what kind of game it's going to be, because if it's, I mean, if he's done COD Zombies before, I mean, that doesn't necessarily immediately lend itself to live service, and you've got to imagine that Sony are trying to get away from live service. So, are we talking FPS? Are we talking...
Sony needs a shooter. Like, they've not had a shooter in so long.
Yeah. But yeah, Dark Outlaw Games, presumably named by his 12-year-old son.
I call them Dog for short.
Dog Games. Although the games is unnecessary. Yeah, it's one of these ones where we have to wait and see. Probably 3 years from now, during a Gamescom opening night live, or
the logo will come up and it'll go, whoa, whoa.
It'll go Dark Outlaw Games, and I'll go, I think I remember that name from somewhere.
Right, let's audition for the voiceover. Give me your Dark Outlaw Games.
Dark Outlaw Games.
Okay, I'll go for Dark Outlaw Games.
Oh no, it'll be like, yeah, Dark Outlaw Games. It'll be like a comedy western FPS, which I'd be well up for.
Mad Dog McCree reboot, would that be up your street?
Listen, he's in a bar drinking. A good quote by Mad Dog McCree.
All the Mad Dog McCree heads in the audience absolutely popped.
I can't believe you just quoted Mad Dog McCree finally.
I think this has to be a shooter, because first of all, it's the area in Sony's first party that's obviously the weakest. Like, Guerrilla's never going to touch Killzone ever again. They've made that quite clear. Resistance has been maybe this is Mag 2, Magger. Although that's a bit.
Unless maybe they said to Blundell, here's the keys, mate. Go and make Killzone.
Yeah, I think he'd maybe get quite into that. Especially although maybe he wants to do his own thing, like
with Big Herman at the helm. He might be saying, "I quite fancy bringing that back." So.
I wonder if maybe the condition of this is like, we'll give you the studio, but the first thing you have to make has to be an established IP. We're not giving you we're not letting you do a random Concord out here. Yeah, like
the first game you have to make has to star that wee Japanese cat, the Sony mascot. We'll try to break the West with it.
I appreciate the fact that despite the fact that we reference that cat basically every single podcast, we're never ever going to learn its name. It's just the wee Japanese cat.
It's the wee Japanese cat.
He sits on the desk. If you go to Sony in Japan, he's sitting on the desk welcoming you. He's the Japanese welcome Sony cat.
See that playable in PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale?
Oh yeah, probably.
And even now, I can't remember his name, despite him being in a character in a game I liked more than most.
Yeah. I thought PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale was alright. I feel like they could do another one of those and just not make it so Smash like adjacent. But
not have Fat Princess in it this time. That wouldn't really do so well.
God rest her. Cardiac arrest. The
heart just exploded.
Ate too many sausage rolls. We've all been there. Although these days, PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale would be very self-serious. It'd be like Joel being like, and Kratos being like, and Jin Sakai being like,
one of the stages is a cafe in Grand Theft.
Yes, come on now. Before you start fighting,
somebody's face in the coffee maker.
Before you start fighting, it goes, "This is the history of the punch. The punch was invented by John Punch back in 1903.
See old black and white footage of somebody getting socked in the jaw.
Oh, Gran Turismo, man.
Oh, so far up its own arse.
Well, let me tell you something. We're not getting review code for the next one of that. Not a chance.
Oh, well, see, what else we're going to do in 2037 then?
Oh, the next one's coming to PlayStation VR 2, so you can sit in the cafe yourself and go, waiter, can I have a Fiat Punto, please?
Sorry, I'm just eyeing up this Toyota Yaris Cross 2087.
Could you tell me about the history of the crankshift car, please?
Could I?
What's Henry Ford up to?
Crankshaft's my weekend name, I can tell you anything you want to know.
More from Dark Outlaw Games as we have it. Next story. I was in Frankfurt when this went down, so I'm interested to know what the hell this is about. Sega warns the Japanese players who bought, quote, fraudulent in-game currency have been convicted. They've been sentenced to death. In a statement posted to the company's official Japanese website, Sega notes that in August 2024, a number of people were arrested and convicted of computer fraud after, quote, defrauding in-game currency from our game apps, unquote. According to Sega, the people in question were members of a criminal group who were offering in-game currency at a cheaper price than found
Team Rocket.
in game. Now, Chris, I am worried because I have spent many years of my life buying FIFA coins.
Well, maybe not anymore, but yeah, it's the same. I'm basically saying, so yeah, like you say, what happened was somebody was selling currency for, I'm assuming, a mobile game, because they don't have a lot of kind of premium currency in anything else, and they've got a fair number of Japanese only kind of mobile games. So apparently some criminal group was selling cheap premium currency. People bought it from them, and then they proceeded to hack the game and give them the currency. But Sega are now saying, hey, not only this isn't like a what do you call it? A Fire TV, a Fire Stick situation where the person who provides the service is the only one who gets done by the police. If Sega basically said not only were the people who did the hacking done by the police, but the person who bought the currency was also charged. So Sega's basically saying to everyone, wind your necks in. If you're going to buy currency, buy it directly from us. Wild idea. The way to stop this is maybe not put premium currency in your game in the first place.
Oh, shut your face. That's never going to work.
Hey. But
Johnny Sega needs a new yacht.
Well, that's true. I mean, yachts are hard to come by these days. But yeah, so basically, if you're going to go to the black market or indeed the grey market. Don't do it for Sega games.
Yeah. Any other games fine?
Konami eFootball's fine.
Yeah.
Rinse it, but certainly not generic Sega mobile game 23.
Konami will pay you. So I obviously never engaged in this, Your Honor. But back in the day, there was many websites, and I think some of them still exist, that sold FIFA coins at much cheaper than what you'd expect for FIFA points. And the game has largely got around this because I've been playing a lot of IFC recently with the Foot Birthday stuff, and every day you're getting like 4 84 times 10 packs. Like, my team is ridiculous at the moment. It's so good. So they've kind of got away from the coin-based model, but it used to be you could spend $79.99 best value on FIFA points and open like 12,000 points worth of packs that would maybe get you 100k. Or if you spend £80 on a coin website, you could get like 3 million coins and buy Ronaldo and all this stuff. And it was so simple to do it. That kind of stuff's, they got really ban happy on that stuff naturally because it was destroying the game's economy. But I don't really think that stuff's kicking a ball anymore. I've never been one of these people that, I did it when I was like in high school because everyone was doing it and it was the only way to compete. But the folk that like buy gold in Diablo and buy gold in World of Warcraft on eBay and stuff like that, it's never been my bag. Speaking
of EAFC, I'm totally cold turkey on that now. That's like, I got a point where that happens to me every time. I get the point where I get a really good team. And at that point, I'm like, I'm done here. Like, I've got nothing more to play for because I'm never going to reach Division 1. I've got a Celtic team full of 89s and 90s and 91s. I'm done. So I've kind of gone cold turkey on that. Fortnite's not doing it for me anymore because I don't do the Battle Royale stuff. I just play that casually for the occasional kind of rock band bit, whatever it's called. That's kind of done. WWE 2K25, I have rinsed my faction mode to the point where I literally can't play anything else until they add new content. Like, I need to wait for new live events or new weekly towers or whatever. The world tour's done, everything's done, so I can't actually do anything more on that. So I'm sitting there going, I need a live service game. So I got my phone out, phoned up the X, reinstalled Disney Dreamlight Valley. We're back in it. When you said when I saw the word Disney form in your mouth, and I was like, "Don't be Speedstorm." No, it's not Speedstorm. Speedstorm is so far out in my wheelhouse now. The greed, the descent into greed was unlike anything I've ever seen. They're now splitting their seasons into 3 parts.
Good.
And you're basically spending £40 or so per season for a few new characters, and each season's like a few months. So
what's the problem? Be bloody grateful.
Oh, they're scum of the earth. That's the problem. But yeah, so I'm back in Dreamlight Valley now. I'm back in my Dreamlight Valley bullshit. Had a wee look at it last night and I'm going, yeah, I'm back in this. They've released like 2 expansions since I played it, like paid expansions. So it's like going to be enormous. And there's one coming in the summer. I want to get back on level by the summer, caught up, so that when the summer expansion comes out, I'm back into it. Back into Dreamlight Valley.
I'm in a weird holding pattern. By the time this comes out, it might actually come out before this, but we'll do something with Atomfall. There's not going to be a review for reasons beyond our control, but we'll do something with Atomfall, so I'm probably going to play some of that. I can't talk about it till the 31st, but let's say there's a game that I'd really love to be playing right now that's really got my goat, so I might play the previous 2 entries in that in the time intermittent. But
why don't you play Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition like I was made to? No.
Do you know what's really dark, Chris? I'm considering going to get the Platinum in Assassin's Creed Shadows. I've not felt that way about a game in quite some time, and there's still plenty for me to do. And it's not like the Platinum in Assassin's Creed Odyssey where there's people still haven't achieved it because there's parts of that map that no human has ever seen. It seems quite doable. So I don't know. Playing so much FC at the minute is really I packed Foot Birthday Alvarez, who's like a 1.5 million coin player. So I was like, well, this is me. This is the game begging me to come back. So I've been doing that. A weird pattern at the minute.
I'm just in a weird point where I'm started these first play videos for those who aren't aware. VGC
plug this, get this plugged.
I'm going to plug the knickers off it. I'm sure that's a phrase you can't say anymore. But it's a concept rather than a person, so it's fine. For years now, I've been doing this gig even long before VGC, and I always hate when you get emails from PRs or developers directly.
End of sentence.
I hate it. Just stop sending me stuff. And it's like, I would love to cover this because it looks really cool, but I can't commit to a full review for this game because we're a relatively small team. We can't review everything. And you know what it's like these days, like sites need to kind of be clever with what, or strategic with what they cover to kind of keep the numbers up and keep the lights on, basically.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's crap. We can't keep turning down all these really cool looking games. So the first play video, it's not like a brand new concept or anything. It's hardly like I'm hardly reinventing anything, but it's a way to cover kind of non-AAA games without putting 15 hours into it for a review. So we're doing these first play videos where I basically record the first half an hour or an hour, depending on what the game is, and then do a wee extra bit for Patreon without the ads. And yes, it's going to be like a steady series of YouTube videos with like loads of kind of gameplay of stuff you might not be too familiar with. So last week I did Mullet Mad Jack, which just got released on Game Pass, which is quite cool. I did Inzoi, that kind of South Korean Sims game.
Oh yeah, is that how you pronounce that? I have absolutely no idea.
That's what I'm going with. I don't. It might be something totally wild, but I'm going with Inzoi, which is quite cool. It's quite a funny wee video. I'm looking at a list here. I've got 5 lined up for next week. So you're going to get a steady stream coming of kind of lesser known games that you might want to take a look at and go, that looks good, that's not for me. So so I've been kind of it's been helpful for me as well because it's been made me less inclined to grind the live service stuff. So looking at Fortnite and going, I could play this for 2 hours just doing the racing game over and over again, or I can do a first play of something completely new. So it's helpful in that sense. It's kind of,
but what if you grinded the 85 times 3 upgrades on the chance of getting an icon? That's really where the game is at the minute.
I'd rather grind myself against a banister made of razor blades than jump into a bucket of lemon juice. I've done too many. I did that once this year on FC. One of those ones you got to do 100
the crafting upgrades,
and like the prize for it was like a pack of duplicates. I'm like, thanks very much. I'm never doing that again.
But it's the journey, you know? Yeah, the first play stuff is cool. Check that out now. Patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle. Let's get some Discord questions. You can join the Discord for free. There's links floating about. There's one on my Blue Sky. There's one on the website. Go and do it. Jamie H, 1224. We are 2 weeks out from the Switch 2 presentation. What do you think the first game they show, and what's the one more thing? First game, Mario Kart. One more thing, 3D Mario.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, other than that, what were we thinking prediction-wise? I mean, did there sensible predictions to guess, like Pokemon Legends? You got to imagine they'll say, "Oh, here's a fancy version of that." And
I imagine the reason we don't have a release date for ZA is because it might be a Switch 2 launch game, and that might be the reason that they're the reason for the season, the reason they're holding it off.
Yeah.
Or although Pokemon always comes out at the end of the year, so maybe it would be. Do we think Mario Kart's the launch game? 3D Mario is September, Pokemon's November, something like that.
Maybe. Mario Kart will definitely be the launch game because that's the fact they showed it first. It's like that's. Although, what did they show first? Yeah, they showed Zelda first when they showed Switch 1, so that's going to be the one. It's a weird one because, well, they've recently found 60 FPS mode hidden in Xenoblade Chronicles X in the code, which doesn't work yet, apparently. So I'm assuming that during this presentation they'll also say, by the way, we're going to patch enhanced modes into existing Switch games so you can play them better on Switch 2. So I'd imagine that'll be one of them. Because Xenoblade is fun, but it struggles a bit like the frame rate doesn't quite hit 30.
It will be, they'll do like the 50 most played Switch games. It'll be all the Pokemon games, all that kind of shit.
And then they'll allow developers to patch it in themselves on a case by case basis if they want to.
Free?
Yeah. Well, it'll be up.
$5 a shot?
Devs. It'll be up to the devs,
Yeah.
I would imagine. If any of them had any sense, they would do it free.
Yeah.
Because especially when the Switch 2 comes out, they won't have a lot of Switch 2 games when it comes out, so there'll be people looking to go back through the Switch 1 back catalogue, and if there's ones that specifically are enhanced for Switch 2, they'll buy them. So if the developer had any sense, they would make it a free patch, but we'll see.
So
I dare say we'll see plenty of, over the course of Switch 2's life, plenty of Switch 1 games with full price remasters, quote unquote, which is literally just moving a few sliders.
So if we're expecting, I think we're getting Switch 2 before Summer Game Fest at this point, which makes me think that if GTA gets locked in for the end of this year, everyone apart from Switch stuff in GTA is moving, so you kind of have a free run to put out something every month. Like, you have to assume they have been stockpiling Switch 2 games for a couple of years at this point, so that they don't have like any delay, any kind of like fallow period. They'll just start firing shit out.
That was clearly the strategy. I've put together a list which I haven't published yet, but I will publish at some point, in which I prove that every single month since the Switch was released, either a big first party game or a big third party game has released for the Switch.
Yeah.
And so Nintendo have clearly, this has been their plan, is that either we get something out every month, or if we don't have anything ready every month, we arrange it with a big third party so that something big is coming out on the Switch every single month. And they've done it without fail right up until now. Every single month has had a reasonably big game on it, which is mental for a console.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got to imagine they're going to continue that going, because that's that worked for them with the Switch. It's going to work with the Switch 2. It'll be Mario Kart day one. They'll have maybe Pokemon might even be like 2 months later. Or they'll have an ARMS type situation. Maybe like Splatoon 4 will be
ARMS 2 legs.
Listen, shoulders. They'll bring one out, and 3 months later, another one out 2 months after that. You'll get like maybe we'll finally get Wind Waker HD, or Twilight Princess HD, or some sort of Zelda collection type thing. So
I mean, that is done. Like, it's just sat there, and obviously like people go, oh yeah, where's the proof of that? There is years of proof of Nintendo sitting on stuff for a long time. Why do you think that hairy bastard Jeff Grubb knew about Metroid Prime for so long before it came out? It was sat done. Like,
but yeah, we'll see. I think we might even get 3D Mario next year, and Metroid at the end of the year.
Yeah,
but Metroid's not a Christmas seller, so maybe not. Maybe it'll be Mario.
I think I would imagine it's. I suppose, do you do Pokemon and Mario at the same time? I suppose because Pokemon's a Legends game and not a new generation, I think you do Pokemon and Mario this year, and then next year it's Pokemon Gen 10. So that's the big one that Pokemon. What's the naming convention going to be? So Scarlet and Violet, we're back to colors, but before that it was Sword and Shield. So.
Pokemon Taupe and Magenta.
Taupe and Magenta. I'm trying to think what would be. I mean, they'll surely.
It's one of those ones everyone tries to guess. Oh, we listen this, and this, Laurel and Hardy, and then like they finally come out with something that nobody guessed, and you go, "Oh, that makes sense."
It was exciting when it was like red and blue, gold and silver, ruby and sapphire, diamond and pearl, black and white, and then they went, "Oh, X and Y," and everyone was like, "Whoa! I can't believe it!" And then it was X and Y, Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, and now 1 and 2. That's going to be. Although that
what was the meme that was going around? Remember the dress? Was it a blue dress, or was it a grey dress? Whatever it was, it'd be that Pokemon blue dress, Pokemon grey dress.
Are you literally referencing something that I joked about being so outdated that I said earlier in this podcast?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay, that's fine. I thought you'd had a massive brain aneurysm live in this podcast. And you're like, why am I thinking about the blue and black and the white and gold dress? Jesus.
You're not quite playing mind games yet.
Mind games.
Brown.
Yeah. God rest.
Yeah, it'll be something weird. Is he dead?
I don't know. At time of recording, I don't think so.
Dead to me.
Yeah.
It'll be something like daft. It'll be like Pokemon.
Here's one for you.
Go on.
Pokemon Red 2 and Blue 2. It's a sequel to although Gold and Silver are sequel to the Kanto games. Never mind. Next question.
Pokemon Yin and Pokemon Yang.
Yeah. Pokemon Yang obviously starring Celtic winger Yang.
The Pokemon Yin starring the big Yin, Billy Connolly.
Don't even say it. We do not say it after him. Never. Ryan's Cobain, Kurt's dad. Hello, gentlemen. Hail, hail. Hail, hail, back to you. How do you feel the hangover from the previous generation being successful has impacted this one, and how will it impact the first year or so of Switch 2? 100 million plus aren't going to jump ahead without the content, but Nintendo might be in the same trap as Sony and Xbox, hamstring some experiences at the first year or so. Ragnarok, Miles Morales, Horizon, etc. Love the pod and the content. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for your contributions to Discord. Always a friendly face. I don't know. I feel like the biggest challenge Nintendo faces is convincing the 100 million why they need a 2. And I think the only way they do that is with exclusive software that got people to get the 1. So I think when the Switch 2 Animal Crossing comes out, that's going to be absolutely massive.
Yeah. They're conscious that this isn't. It's the same with every generation. They're not going to expect all 100 million to go, right, time to jump over. They know that the first batch that jump over are the hardcore. You'll get a couple of kids who'll see an advert for the new Pokemon and say, oh, I want that. But if it's going to also be released on the standard Switch, which I expect it will do, the next Pokemon Legends, most of their parents will just buy it for...
Legends definitely will.
Yeah, they'll just buy it for the Switch 1 instead and say, you don't need a bloody Switch 2. You've got a perfectly good Switch there. Their Switches will eventually break over time, as my nephew's is, and his mind's starting to. And then that's when they'll start looking to upgrade it. This will be a slow process, so Nintendo almost don't want the Switch 2 to explode at launch because they don't want another sold out situation where nobody can get one. They've clearly... I say clearly, I assume that they've been stocking up a lot of stock to avoid that happening, and it's going to be massively successful out the gate. But I think it'll be massively successful among a certain type of player, which is the kind of day one player who wants all the new tech immediately. How
hard are you expecting it to be to get? I'm thinking kind of, but not really. You just need to be on it and you'll be able to get one.
It's not going to be like PS5 or Series X for a while when they came out. It's going to be, remember, like the Switch was hard to get for a period. Yeah. And then, but it was never like, I can't find a Switch anywhere. What's going on? It was like, it was difficult, but I would imagine that they've learned some lessons and that they've been stocking up for a long time. I would imagine pre-orders will go up on their site and will be easy enough to pre-order one somewhere in the UK, whether that's Smith's or with Nintendo itself or on Amazon or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd imagine one of the three. You'll obviously get scalpers trying to scalp the shit out of it. Just like don't entertain them, don't encourage them. Just don't.
I don't think it'll be remotely as difficult as people are. Not as difficult as scalpers are hoping, obviously, because obviously Nintendo will have tons of them, and they'll be stocked absolutely everywhere. Like you'll be able to go into your Asda and probably get a Switch at launch pretty easily. And I also think because I'm expecting this to be 500 quid, I think there's a big audience of parents that'll be like, well, maybe at Christmas you can get it, but in the first week of June, I'm not giving you 500 quid for this thing.
Yeah, exactly. so it's going to be interesting. I think it'll be okay. I mean, there's no way of telling this. There are analysts who are saying that it's going to be the biggest hardware launch of all time in video games, which I can see. So who knows? Maybe despite all precautions Nintendo's been taking, maybe it is just going to absolutely sell a metric ton, and it's going to be impossible to get one for a few weeks. But
we've had quite enough experts, I think.
Let's hear what amateurs have to say.
Yeah. Welcome to VGC, the video game podcast. Next question. Cyanide 1980. Who in the industry do you have beef with? I wish we could answer this honestly, but Miyamoto, yeah. Shigsy is
big Shigs. Big Shigsy. I currently have beef with the cast of Not Going Out and Beyond Paradise.
Okay.
We'll be crossing over tonight on Comic Relief. Don't miss it.
I currently have.
No, but I mean, everyone, there's clearly people we hate, but we've never actually discussed them.
When you
should have asked us who we like. It's a shorter list.
When you work in a team of 3, you develop a siege mentality where everyone who's not in the band becomes the enemy. So
Exactly.
We hope that answers your question. Just look at who's never been on the podcast. Anyway, she asks, we all know what a busy site day looks like, pumping out articles and reviews. That's not the only pumping. What do you all get up to at work when there's not a lot on, not a new controversy to write about? In short, what work are you doing behind the scenes when you're not writing articles or making content? We are messaging each other on Slack going, there's fucking no news, there's nothing going on. That's
terrifyingly accurate. Yeah. It's like, what do we do when there's not a lot going on? Is moan about that there's not a lot going on. Yeah, I'm hoping that going forward we can kind of arrange our days a bit better so that when it's becoming clear there's nothing going on, we do a quick pivot. I might record a first play or something just to kind of have something to do. But yeah, we've got various plates that we spin all the time, and if it's a quiet day, we'll try and make it not a quiet day by trying
just
to find
making something up.
Exactly. Fiction is a great.
Spin up a Pokemon article. We need traffic.
Exactly.
Nah, we don't want to just get to the point where we're pumping out absolute shite. So you've probably seen a lot of shite websites that they do absolute pish. It's like, this game's got a new trailer, and we've really moved away from that kind of stuff because who cares? Like, I'd much rather us have a day where we've got 5 things up and all of them are good stories rather than 15, and it's a lot of pish.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tricky balance, but we're getting there. Like I said earlier, we're a smaller team than most, so we need to be kind of clever with what we cover. But yeah, it's there's never a if there was a guaranteed like cast iron strategy on how to nail it, then like we wouldn't have the Patreon.
Don't get us wrong. No. When it's quiet, we start to absolutely freak it. But this gives us a good outlet to do other things.
Definitely.
Next question. I've just an update for those listening. Pokemon Center still doesn't have Destined Rivals up yet, so this podcast hasn't come to a grinding halt quite yet.
God rest it.
Hideo Kojima. Not really a question, but more of a commendation. Oh, sorry, this wasn't from Hideo Kojima. This was from Ezio Auditore da Firenze. The Assassin's Creed podcast was good. Solid assembly of journal types. That's disrespectful to Kevin McDonald. Very much enjoyed it. Now tempted to pick it up. How was the German sausage? I didn't have any German sausage. At the Doom event, they had they fed us, and one of the options was bratwurst, but I had a little burger, which was very nice. And then later,
when they do that though.
How?
When they be tiny bite-sized burgers?
No. A full
whack. They're proper. Oh, that's fine then. Sometimes you go to these events and they come out with a plate and it's got this like sliders, I believe they call them, but even smaller than that.
You'd be like, I'll take 50 of these, please.
I know. I was like, thanks very much. Just take the plate off.
Yeah. The after the event finished, obviously I'd been up since very early to fly over to Frankfurt that day, so I patched the nighttime meal because I was so tired, and I got a little German McDonald's. Let me tell you, as someone who had a French McDonald's, which was terrible, honestly the worst McDonald's I've ever had. Obviously it was, it came for fans. German McDonald's, exactly what you wanted. Tastes like British McDonald's. I got chicken nuggets and a cheeseburger. It's pretty good.
Tell you, see, when you go to Japan, you need to try the McDonald's, the shrimp Filet-O-Fish.
Oh.
It's very nice. I don't usually mess with the Filet-O-Fish, but when in Rome, or indeed Japan.
When in Rome, arigato. Yes, I am a sue.
Don't get the samurai burger.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It's like a Big Mac with soy sauce in it.
That doesn't work. Hideki Go asks, in a lot of ways, it seems like consoles are homogenizing to be safer, less innovative. Are there aspects of the hardware or software of consoles you'd like to see change or get weird again? Bring back themes, bring back themes. That's really all I want. See, for the 20 minutes they had themes on PlayStation 5 there, I was like, oh, this feels like a new console. This is full of whimsy. And then they're like, enough of that. No, thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, we've said this umpteen times. I'm already prepping myself for the abject disappointment I'm going to have when I turn on the Switch 2 and it'll just be exactly the same UI as the Switch 1. Even with just the black and white themes again, and like I'm already prepping myself for it, so I'll be pleasantly surprised if there's something, but there won't be. I want the Me channel back. I want Street Pass back. I want the ability to add your own icons, and they kind of have to it. You know, you got these. You use your platinum points to buy, to do. Pardon me, with achievements or something that you can now get with kind of icons, but who gives a shit about your profile icon? Like, I want actual stuff all over the place to personalize my UI and make it feel like mine. I don't know. I get why Nintendo stripped all that away for the Switch, because they had to focus directly. They've said that like a while back. I don't know if they said it directly, but that's why I didn't have any media apps or anything like that in it either. It's just like, we want to focus on the games and nothing else. This is a games console, no messing about. You've won back the goodwill of the people, and like, people trust you for the games now. Now you can mess about again and bring the kind of Nintendo feeling back into it. But we'll see.
And then absolutely tank the console.
That is the thing. It's that balancing act now, isn't it? That people are expecting better performance from the Switch 2, like much better performance. So how much of it do you dedicate to the kernel, I believe they call it, like to the operating system in the background? If you get too many bells and whistles, you end up with a Wii U situation where I loved the Miiverse, but it absolutely tanked the console, like you say. It slowed to a crawl every time. So it's tricky. But yeah,
we'll see. Shay, I have another question. One of the things I like about the VGC Discord is that you have a rule limiting negativity. In an industry that has lots of stuff going on, how do you keep a positive attitude day to day? What gives you the impression that we keep a positive attitude?
You prick.
I don't know. The saccharine answer is that I love games, and I want games to do well, and I love this industry. I love this game, to quote Patrice Evra. So as long as there's games, I'm going to want to cover them, and that's pretty much it. It's quite literally as simple as that. I'm still as excited by games as I ever have been, and I still want to play them as much as I ever have. So
yeah, I mean, I understand over the years negativity has become more popular online, because obviously negativity is always sold, and in a world where sorry, it's getting very, very deep here, but like it's everyone thinks they're the star of the show, like especially online and social media. So everyone wants to be the negative one and put on this kind of front that, another game from Ubisoft, what a load of shit, another this, I don't care. Yeah, exactly. What is woke? That was this was that. And it's like, just enjoy this stuff. It's not. We're not. It's not a global conflict we're getting involved in here. It's entertainment. It's a bit of fun. It's video games. Just enjoy. Try and get the positive out of it. Again, like going back to it's another reason why I'm doing the first place, because there is still no greater feeling. I've been doing this for nearly, next month, 2 months' time, it'll be 19 years, and I still, when the title screen comes up for a game that I've never played before, still get massively excited when I start playing it. Then it's up to the game to make me go, actually, this is a bit shit. but like I'm happy to give it like the benefit of the doubt and try and see the good out of it. That's why I get abuse for semi-enjoying Balan Wonderworld, because I can see the glimmers in it.
No, glimmers are shite.
Glimmers of hope. But yeah, so like
Pokemon Glimmers of Hope and Glimmers of Shite. That's going to be the next game.
You eventually get to the point you reach an age in your life when you're lying on your deathbed. Again, to not get too grim. Do you want to look back and say, I spent half my life moaning about shit, or do you want to say, I spent half my life like being happy with things? Like, see if I hadn't spent a whole 4 weeks moaning about the colour of the Little Mermaid. And if I went maybe just watched something else, or maybe just played a game that I liked, or maybe just tried a film that did interest me, like how many hours of my life have I wasted moaning like a prick about things? So I think that's the mentality we want to bring to VGC. It's fun. We love games. We focus on the positive.
Or if you spent your time signing up for VGC on Patreon, patreon.com/.
That's time well spent.
Yeah, that's time well spent. Extra content, extra shite. Last question. Sambi. You touched on it in the AC unboxing, but I wondered, how do you pick the image for a YouTube thumbnail? Do you take a still from the recording, or do you do an appropriate pose when you're done? I have never done the pose when you're done kind of thing. I always just take a still. But since we're here, Chris, let's get some poses going for the thumbnail here. I'll go for a little. Can you give me one, please? Okay, now give me a very excited.
Just a mild smile. Like,
this is a fantastic audio feature, by the way. If you're listening to the podcast, people posing silently. But no,
the audio assistant's going, Chris just smiled.
I always just pick it's like when you start up a Ubisoft game and it has the voiceover on by default, and it's like, take an option from the menu. I shit myself every single time. So I know exactly. Chris loves a wee hand on the face, so that gets me a lot of thumbnail. One of those, I get a lot of thumbnails out of that. I gesticulate with my hands like I'm fucking Donald Trump, so I get a lot of mine from that. And otherwise, it's just catching someone mid word, so they're going, and then I just do that. So no, I do not pose. I think my favorite thing is when YouTubers pose for the thumbnail and they accidentally leave the clip in of them posing for said thumbnail. It's so embarrassing, man. So no, I don't do that.
That's amazing.
Chris, what are you up to this weekend?
This weekend, I will be working on my PlayStation book because I'm a bit behind on that. Recording a bunch of first plays for next week. And yeah, maybe doing stuff on the site if Andy doesn't get home in time. But we'll see what happens there. But yeah, how about you?
Well, the good lady wife was away last week and I was away during the week, so we're going to do hee haw this weekend as a celebratory occasion. We're probably going to play some Atomfall, although I might play Doom Eternal. I'm going to have a wee video game weekend. I say that, I'll come back next week and I'll be like, I just played FIFA the entire time.
Yeah, I'm hoping to start Assassin's Creed Shadows, but I'll probably play loads of Dreamlight Valley instead.
We are sick individuals that have fallen completely into their trap.
Yep.
Speaking of sick individuals, thank you for watching VGC, the video game podcast. Remember, you can support the site and this podcast, patreon.com/video games chronicle. Thank you to the great Grant remakes, the great Grant Kirkhope for the VGC podcast theme. As you can probably tell by the fact that this podcast is 15 minutes longer than usual, our boss is currently stuck in America, so hopefully he gets back for next week. Say goodbye, Chris.
Goodbye, Chris.
We'll see you next week.